Welcome back to Inside Politics. Our guest today, Democrat Larry Woods and Republican analyst Bill Phillips. We're going to turn now to Capitol Hill and the scandal involving House Speaker Glenn Casada. He's been gone this past week, Bill. He took a European trip after saying he was going to resign from his office after the scandal that came up over texting over the last couple of weeks, right at the very end of session. Do you believe he actually is going to come back and resign? A lot of people are not completely sure about that up on the Hill.
Well, I think he has cast that one, and so I don't see how he does not resign at this point. But the timing of it is what's going to be interesting. And, you know, if he resigns before a certain date, there has to be a runoff or a special election. If he resigns after that date, it can be.
But at this point, he appears. You think he's only going to? You think he's going to resign both positions, both his speakership and his seat, or is he just going to resign?
Good point. I slipped into his seat. I do not think he's going to resign his seat at this time. But the speakership. Bill Dunn is the pro tem, and he would assume until there is an election, and that by resigning the speakership, Dunn would be it until January, and I think they'd probably want to have an election for speaker. So.
Larry, Tennessee is no stranger to scandals on the Hill involving legislators. We've had a governor removed early because of that. How is what's happened with Glenn Casada different from the others, and why is it important?
Well, it's both the same and different. You know, my Democrats, when we had close to monopoly power for 35, 40 years or longer, we had problems come up. Power sort of attracts that. And now the Republicans have had near monopoly power for what, 10, 15 years? They attract these kind of problems of people rising to the top, unfortunately, who think the rules don't apply to me and my friends. You know, I miss Beth Harwell. I miss Jimmy Naphy, the last two speakers, two long-term speakers before Casada. I didn't always agree with them, but they did it right, and every day they tried to do it right. I'm proud of the state Republican Party, not my party, but I'm proud of the fact that in this closed meeting, they voted out the most powerful member in their group, Mr. Casada. It would have been very easy. I know a lot of politicians, both parties, you get in closed meetings, and it's a lot of friendship and favors and human kind of things. I was very proud of the state Republican Party. They did the right thing.
Bill, Governor Lee said that if the Speaker comes back and doesn't resign by the end of June, he'll call a special session to get the legislature to remove him as Speaker. Do you expect the Speaker to step down before then? And this idea about having a special session that some lawmakers want to remove Casada completely, why is the governor reluctant to do that?
Well, I think that if he does not resign by the end of June, a special session, they lose control of their own destiny, the Republican caucus. Now they have control of their destiny. You know, the legislative sessions over the past several years have become the annual embarrassment. And once again, they've managed to do that.
Is it possible, Larry, that lawmakers will be able to come up on their own to call a special session? 2/3 of signatures of members is not easy to get.
No, it's not. They'd have to get basically all of the Democrats to go along with them probably to get the 2/3. I assume my Democrats would go along with that. I mean, I think every good thinking political person in state government at this point, both sides, every side, wants what Bill's outlining. You know, let's get new leadership in there and get everybody moving forward. I think Governor Lee, to his credit, is trying to accomplish that. But I really think the legislature, Bill's right, they need to do it on their own and move forward.
Let's talk about repercussions. First, in terms of leadership, it does appear that Bill Lee will assume it. I mean, excuse me, that Mr. Dunn, Representative Dunn, will take it over on an interim basis because he's Speaker pro tem. But long term, is he the choice, or is it somebody who's close to Casada? A lot of those people are talking about it as well. What happens to the image of the legislature if somebody close to Glenn Casada succeeds him as Speaker?
Well, what's been interesting to me is those who are perceived as close to Casada are beginning to put distance between him, including Matthew Hill, for example.
It's hard to find the 24 that voted to keep it, had confidence in it.
That's right.
You can't. The people who've spoken out even since then don't add up to 24.
Yeah. So I think they will try to keep it internal.
Larry, if this matter goes on and on, if there's a delay in the Speaker stepping down, a delay in either a special session or anything else happening, and this goes on for a while, what's the long-term repercussions on the legislature? What are the long-term repercussions for the Republicans in keeping their supermajority?
We all get hurt. we, the people, lose more confidence in our elected leadership if they don't finish clearing this mess up, and we all get hurt because we lose trust, lose confidence, and therefore things that do need to be done, solutions to health care, better schools, etc., they all suffer because we're going to look at it with, was that a Casada idea or an ally of Casada, or we need to avoid that kind of downward spiral.
Bill, this scandal has created a ton of negative publicity all across the country. What does the legislature do to finally clean up its image that this is not a frat house and just their little playthings to do, so that we don't have these things happening almost on an annual basis?
Well, I think, as referenced earlier, they need to clean their own house, and they need to do it quickly and get the perception that they're serious. The difference between Boy Scouts and the state legislature is Boy Scouts have adult leadership. They need adult leadership.
And Larry, as the Democrat, I'm sure you would agree. But what do the Democrats do to take advantage of this? I mean, they're the super minority, and there doesn't seem to be any signs statewide they're going to be anything but that after the 2020 elections.
I think the only way for Democrats to take advantage of the gaps in leadership is for Democrats to get back to basic, good, sound ideas, including fiscal responsibility, and market the kind of health care and school improvements that we need. Stay away from the Casada type issue. That's something the Republicans have got to solve for themselves. Focus on schools, health care, etc.
Larry Woods, Bill Phillips, thank you so much for being here. Always a lot of things going on, and I'm sure we'll have you back to talk about them as they occur.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us this week on Inside Politics. Hope you'll be back here again for a future show. If you can't get enough politics in the meantime, go to the News Channel 5 website. You'll find my Capitol View commentary there. There's a new commentary posted every Friday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here next time. Goodbye.